sometimes we set goals, especially in a season where it's like pressure to set goals that don't actually end up aligning with what we really want to do. And so that's totally okay. Adjusting is part of the process. Hey everyone, welcome back to Sisterhood Tea Party. It's Jessica and Stephanie here, and today we're getting into a spring reset. It's that time of year when everything starts feeling fresh and new again, and we're here to talk about how to reset your mindset, goals, and productivity to make the most of the season.
Yes, we love a good refresh moment, and spring is the perfect time to step back, reassess, and get intentional about what and how we're spending our time and energy. But before we get into all of that, let's do our What's Top of Mind segment. Jess, what's been on your mind this week?
I have wonderful news. My pup is officially cancer-free. Officially a cancer survivor.
Yay! That's what I'm talking about. Bo is a warrior. Let me tell you that. Amazing.
He really is. Literally, this happened like an hour and a half before we were recording right now. He went in for his checkup. I mean, we literally almost lost him in January, and he's been doing so good. Went in for his checkup, just thought it was going to be let's run a panel, make sure everything's good, if we need to change any of his medication. And they're like, oh, we're graduating him today. And he got to ring the little bell, and
That's
we were
so
crying. Everybody came out. They were all clapping, and like my husband was bawling his eyes out recording it. And I was like, oh my God. So that is my top of mind because I'm just so proud of him. I'm so happy.
Oh my gosh, what an amazing day. Yay, Bo.
Yeah. So what's top of mind for you?
I don't really know how I can top that. But have you heard of this like interactive like event called Bingo Loco?
No. Racking my brain because there is like this interactive Monopoly thing going on in Denver right now, but I haven't heard of Bingo Loco. What is this?
So Bingo Loco, the best way I can describe it is just like bingo on steroids. So basically it's a 3-hour event and there's some bingo involved, but it's mostly like a whole like rave dance party situation where they're giving away tons of prizes. They have confetti everywhere. It's like jamming out to all of this music. I mean, it's like an intense rave. But bingo. So they play.
But did you go or you're
we're
going
about
to go?
Yeah, so we're going to. By the time this airs, I'll have already gone. But we're going, and I'm like, what do I wear? Because I was just expecting to just wear like, regular clothes, but I'm like, do I need like for the streets outfit? Like, do I need to like be dressed?
It's the way I was about to ask, what do you even wear to something like that? You said that. Yeah, like what do you wear? So what are you gonna wear?
So I have this like halt. I mean, I feel like I'm gonna have to dress for the streets, and I'm like, I don't know. I haven't been out like that. So I do have a pair of these leather pants, not leather. Leather, yes, but I also have a pair of leopard pants that I may. Yeah. I just got them, Old Navy, of course, duh. And then I have this like black halter top, so I may just wear that situation and just with sneakers and keep it very low key but still cute. Do my hair, do my makeup, all that. But yeah, I don't really know what to expect because I've never done anything. They sent my friend like not a how-to video, but kind of like a like what to know, what to expect type video, telling us like this is what this event is. But it's not too far from me, so we have no idea who's going to be there, what the vibes are going to be like, other than what we've seen on YouTube. I'll send you the link so you can see like what this is. Yeah, but like based off of the photos and the videos, I'm like, wait, this is like giving club vibes, but it's in a literal bingo hall. Like, so I'm like,
this is not your grandma's bingo, basically.
This is not your grandma's bingo. And it also doubles as a wedding venue. So I just like have like a weird time like having those two together. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, pause real quick. You mentioned leopard pants. I went to the mall yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
When did like leopard and cheetah print all of a sudden become in again? I saw it at Fabletics. I saw a leopard hat at Urban Outfitters. I was like, are we back in college days right now? Is this Snooki era all over again? And now you just said you got leopard pants too.
Yes, it's trending right now. And it's funny because I feel like I started it first. I started it way back in 2011. Do you remember when I had like my leopard print scarves that I wore every day? I started that.
Pull it out of the storage.
Well, I was forced to get rid of it years ago, so I don't have it anymore. Thank you, Olivia and my mom. They made me get rid of it in my move. But I feel like I've seen it on TikTok over the last year. It's started to pick back up again with trend, like with the pants, and people are pairing it with like a screen tee or just like a graphic tee. And I'm like, oh, that's gonna be vibe with like hat, jewelry, all that stuff. And it just looks really put together, but still super casual. So I went and found a pair and I love them. Like they fit really nice. So I'm like, you know what? Let me bring my leopard back again.
Wait, so are they skinny jeans or are they like skinny pants or like what kind of pants are they?
They're like a baggy, like wide leg pant. Yeah, no skinnies yet. Although the kids are trying to bring those back. Did you see that?
I feel like they work well with tall boots.
They do.
That's all I've seen it with.
Yeah, but they're trying to bring them back like to wear it with other things. And I'm like, huh.
The kids are like
you made fun of us for wearing skinny jeans and now you want to wear them? Now you want to bring them back? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We get it. You could just admit that we were right. Millennials have always been right.
Okay, let's get into the main topic for today, which is resetting for spring. And let's start with something that we don't always prioritize, which is a mental health check-in. Winter can be a really tough season. And so as we move into spring, I think it's really important to ask, how are we actually feeling?
Yes, this is such a good time to pause and be honest with ourselves about what's been weighing us down and what we need to feel our best. We get so caught up in our day-to-day lives that we forget to actually check in with ourselves. Have we been running on autopilot? Have we been ignoring our own needs just to get through?
Yes. And for me, spring is really about honoring my ideal self. So really checking in on my wellness, both physically and mentally. Am I getting enough outside time? Am I creating space for joy? Am I treating myself with kindness? Basically, am I doing things that my ideal self would be proud of? And I think a lot of us put so much pressure on just being productive and achieving things. We're all very growth oriented here. And so we kind of forget that part of success is feeling good inside too. And so if I'm burnt out, I can't show up as my best self. And so it's really important to take care of me.
Yeah, that's so good. And I think this is where self-care really comes into play. So not the fluffy surface level self-care, but the deep self-care, right? Setting boundaries, saying no when we need to, and making time for rest without guilt. And I'm such a big proponent of that. For me, I've realized that, when I feel off, it's usually because I haven't been doing the things that make me feel like me. So recently I have really been intentional about prioritizing my self-care. So, now that the weather is feeling much better out there, it's warming up, it's so nice. I've really made it a goal to get outside and walk at least 4 times a week. There's like a nature trail that's about less than 10 minutes away from me that I can just hop on, and it's so peaceful and I love it. And that's been such a great way for me to clear my mind and just enjoy some fresh air. I've also been programming my own gym workouts and sticking to them. So I recently transitioned out of a group fitness setting into just a traditional gym setting, just because I wanted to get back to my basics. I was telling one of my friends that I was like really just itching to get back into the gym again and just have my own workouts again for me. So that has been really nice for me to stay consistent and focused in that. And then also balanced eating, because that plays a huge role in me feeling like my overall best self. So making sure I'm fueling my body right, making sure that I am eating enough, and making sure I'm taking care of myself. So, I've even started scheduling like no plans weekends too, right? So every single month, and I think I've talked about this before, like every single month I'm scheduling like, okay, this weekend, Saturday, Sunday, I'm not doing shit. Don't call me, don't text me. Don't bother me. Like, this is me. I'm going to run around, do whatever I want to, or I'm just going to sleep. Like, just having no plans is the goal. So it's been a huge, huge change for me, for my energy and my overall mindset.
I love that. You have a whole system already planned for spring, a whole reset. I love that. I have noticed you've posted a few times about your morning walks and also how you hate the cold. So I'm so happy it's warming up for you so you can get out there, because I know you love your walks and I love seeing your posts about them. Yeah, that's great. And yeah, the no plan weekend is really smart. I feel like for me, it needs to be a no productivity weekend, because I stay home most weekends, but I'm locked in on my computer creating stuff. And my husband's always on me of hey, you should just sleep in today. But I can't. So I may take a page out of your book on that. But yeah, and I think if you're listening to this and you're like, wow, that sounds super ambitious, I think remember, it's okay if you're feeling a little blah. It's totally normal. It takes time to get into that mindset. And so thinking about more of what's one small thing that you can do today to take care of your mind and body, and then build up from there. It doesn't have to be this big thing. Sometimes it's just taking a deep breath, moving your body, or journaling for 5 minutes, just doing one thing. And if you want more on this, we actually did an episode that's all about self-care, where we go even deeper into refreshing your routines and checking in with yourself. So we'll post that in the show notes as well.
Yes. And now that we've checked in with our mental space, let's talk about goal setting, because spring is basically the second new year.
Yes. And we love a new year because it means vision boarding. So if you did set a vision already for the year back in January, now is such a good time to check in on it. And if you didn't, it's not too late. Now could be a great time to do it.
Yes, I feel like there's so much pressure around January 1st to have everything figured out. But honestly, most people's motivation fades by February. That's why I love using spring as a reset. New season, new energy, new goals. I was just thinking about this too for me. I was checking in with my 5 bingo card that I set at the beginning of the year. And I was like, oh, I need a second quarter refresh. And like getting into like seeing like, all right, do I need to adjust these goals? Where am I at? How am I feeling? So I totally love the concept of using spring as a way to kind of like channel in new energy and set new goals for myself.
Yes, exactly. Like I feel like so many people, they make a vision board in January and then they don't look at it again because you're in that winter blue era kind of at the beginning of the year. So it's a really good reminder to just like pull that vision out and see what still resonates, make adjustments if you need to. And like sometimes we set goals, especially in a season where it's like pressure to set goals that don't actually end up aligning with what we really want to do. And so that's totally okay. Adjusting is part of the process. I'm curious, when you pulled your board out, are there things that you're thinking about adjusting on yours?
The board itself, so like I have a vision board and then I have like the bingo card. The bingo card, I may make some changes on there just because I'm like, okay, like let's reassess. And it's not necessarily a bad thing. And I think we've talked about how it's important to like understand where you're at, and it's okay if things shift. Like you don't have to stick to something as long as it makes sense. Like make those adjustments. As far as like my vision board, I still feel pretty good about it. So I'm like, let's just keep it going. You know what I mean?
Love it.
And if you haven't made a vision board yet, this could be the perfect time. So like I talked about, I have a vision board. It stays on my phone. So it's not like a physical vision board that that hangs. It's literally like I check my phone every single day. It lights up. I see it on the home screen. So it doesn't have to be anything complicated. It truly could be digital. Like I mentioned, it could be a Pinterest board, or just a few sticky notes with words and phrases that inspire you. The important part is just having something that reminds you of where you're heading.
Yep. So for me, I love to set 3-month goals. So I'll have my year goals and then 3 months, because to me, they feel more doable than trying to plan the entire year at once and then getting halfway through and realizing, oh God, I haven't made any progress. So right now I'm checking in on my 3-month goals and really asking myself what's working, what needs adjusting. And I think breaking things down into these different seasons makes it just a little bit more easy for me to stay focused and not feel too overwhelmed. And it's a forcing function to just constantly be checking in on myself.
Yeah, that totally makes sense. It's kind of like quarterly planning, but for the personal life, right? So instead of thinking I have to do this for the whole year, it's what do I want to accomplish in the next 90 days? I think that mindset shift makes a huge difference.
Yes. And one way to set yourself up for success with your goals is refreshing your space as well. So if your environment feels cluttered, your mind probably does too. We love some spring cleaning. So if you need a reset, start small, clear off your desk, swap out some decor, bring in fresh flowers. I love fresh flowers in the spring. My husband already brought me home 2 bouquets so I can start putting fresh flowers up all over the place. And we do talk about this, about refreshing your space, and one of our past episodes that was also about just decluttering your space. So if you're looking for tips on that, definitely revisit. And again, we'll post that in the show notes. Okay, well, that kind of covers the main segment, but let's get into now one of our favorite segments, which is...
Oh, it's my turn. What's the it?
Yeah! All right. You want to kick us off though? What has been your ick lately?
Yeah. Okay. So my ick right now is when people have an issue with their friends. So if they have an issue with their friends, instead of talking about it privately and having just those conversations, they take it to social media and they make it this like, they make it everybody else's problem. And I'm just like, why are we doing that? Right. So the example that I'm referring to right now, and this has happened with like other random things I've seen. So there's this like group of girls, I think it's like 4 or 5 girls that went on this Aspen trip in February. And basically, from what I'm gathering, the initial planning part, there's one girl who basically didn't really say anything in the initial planning stage of like, can everybody go? Can you contribute this amount of money? She just didn't respond. The one girl that was like planning it had basically said like, well, her silence was a yes. So she just assumed that she was going. And then the girl was like, hey, I can't go. Like, this is, it's not in my budget, whatever. And she was like, well, you didn't say anything, so I just assumed that you were coming. I'm like, why would you assume silence means yes? And she was like, well,
To me, that means no.
Hello? And then if there's somebody's not responding, wouldn't you reach out to that person individually and be like, hey, are you good? Like, what's going on? Instead of just being like, well, she already said that she was going at one point, so I'm just assuming her silence means that she's agreeing. What? So all of that drama happened. So then there are 3 other girls that came out with their parts. Then there is now a scene. Somebody recorded it, put it online, of these girls yelling at each other in Aspen. And you can see this girl in a full fur coat in Chanel yelling at her friends that she's not paying them back. I'm like, what is going on? And I'm like,
wait, so the girl ended up going? She ended up going, but not paying? Oh, she didn't
There's another girl, I guess there was some drama. And they were talking about like paying each other back. And so that blew up. And there are girls that are having their side of that story. And I'm just like, we couldn't just, talk it out like in a group chat privately away from the internet. So
yeah,
I'm just like, it's just weird to me. I don't know. I don't like it.
You see when people will comment like, may that love never find me. I'm like, may that friend group never find me. Like that just sounds so toxic.
It's so toxic to me. And I'm just like, those are not your friends. If they can't even have a conversation with you, and instead they feel that social media is the best place, because now you're allowing the opinions of thousands of people who know nothing about you and your friends. And they're making all of these assumptions about these people. And I'm like, this is ridiculous. And I'm very thankful for, shout out to my friend groups, because we would never, ever do anything like that. That's above, like, we're above that. Like, that's crazy to me that people would go online and vent about friends and things that they're doing. And I'm like, have a conversation with them. Talk it out. We're adults,
Literally. Yeah.
It's crazy. I'm like, over here, I'm like, oh, it makes my head itch, because I'm just like, it's crazy. It's wild. But anyway, that's my ick. That is my ick. What about you, Jess? What is your ick?
Sorry, I have one more comment on that. Like, it's something about the fact that they're also like in Aspen for all, it's just, there's just a lot. Like, you can afford to be in Aspen when everyone's in Aspen was like the place to be like the last several weeks, right? Like, and you're there and you're supposed to be having the vibes and you just have all this drama.
Right. Wow. And I'm like, I would love to go to Aspen, but like, at what cost?
Literally exposed.
Yeah, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Okay, well, my ick is maybe less on the bougie, classy side and more on the other side of the spectrum. Okay. My ick this week is Crocs. Okay,
that is, wait.
It's been my ick.
Big. I was like, that is big. It's coming up.
I'm back, baby.
It's a quarterly ick.
If Crocs... If Crocs has no haters, I'm dead. Okay, the sun is coming out, and I just want to remind everyone that this is not an excuse to break out your dusty ass Crocs with 8 different pins on them from last year. I don't care if you got a Chanel pin on your Crocs. At the end of the day, they're Crocs. Okay, I was playing Fortnite the other day, because yes, I play Fortnite, and my husband and I were playing, and I'm looking at the shop where you can buy little like outfits and stuff. Tell me why the top of the screen was a giant Croc and you could buy Crocs for your player. And I was so icked out. I'm like, it's gone too far. This is not real life. People are now paying money for Crocs for their game character. It's chuggy. We need it to stop. Let this be the summer that you do better.
It's so funny to me, because all I can think about is there's a conversation. We had talked about this a while ago, and all I can think about is my sister in the comments defending
Oh, she's going to have a field day with this one. I already know.
She's going to be like, again? Yeah, no, she's a supporter of Crocs. And to be fair, and we talked about this too. I think this was, that was the episode with Carlin.
Yes.
And we had talked about this, in the comments. And I'm like, you know what? For kids, like little kids Crocs, we were like, maybe, well, at least for me, I was like, okay, yes, I could see that. But you were just like, absolutely not.
Never.
You were like,
literally,
no.
Never. And I think it's because I moved to Kansas when I was in high school, and I had never seen a Croc in my life until I moved to like literally the middle of nowhere, Kansas. And I saw people wearing these at the lake, and I was like, what are those? And I think in my head, I just think the most like redneck like situation possible, and then those, and I will forever associate. And so now that they've become trendy, I'm like, I don't buy it. No. Like the local drunk was wearing those down at the lake when I was growing up. Okay, that's who wore those shoes. It's not trendy. No.
Yep. And for the record, I will never purchase a pair of Crocs ever. Ever, ever, ever.
Thank you. I'll
Ever.
never let you live
And I
live
know
it
that
down
there
if
is
you
a lot
did,
of people
so.
out there who will also agree with that. But I know one in particular, my sister, will be very much upset that we, or you specifically, were hating on Crocs again.
Sorry, girl. Sorry. She's gonna come around to my side eventually. When they're not trendy anymore, she'll come around.
Yeah, I'm
She'll come
actually
around.
surprised that she likes them. I'm like, Olivia, you are very trendy in all other aspects, but you like
Really?
Crocs.
Yeah.
Crazy to
And
me.
she does follow the trends. I love her to death. She follows the trends because I will tell you what, she was about as big of a Drake lover as I am. And now she's the biggest Drake hater. The biggest. And I'm like, I remember you're following that trend, but
Olivia is getting
I love
called
her.
out. We love you.
Okay, well, let's wrap this up. Spring is the perfect time to reset your mindset, refresh your goals, and get clear on your vision for the next few months, whether that's setting new habits, decluttering your space, or simply being more mindful of how you spend your time. It's really all about just making small shifts that add up.
And don't forget to check out our past episodes for a deeper dive into refreshing your space, wellness, and vision setting. We'll link them in the show notes.
Thanks for hanging out with us today. If you loved this episode, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, please, 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 and share it with a friend who might need a little spring reset too.
And as always, come chat with us over on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube at Sisterhood Tea Party. We love hearing from you.
So before we go, we're leaving you with our last drop of tea for the day. Stephanie, what's your final words of wisdom?
A new season is a new chance to realign, reset, and reimagine the life that you want. Your future self will thank you for the small changes you make today.
I love that. All right, until next time. Bye, friends.